Welcome back to ATN Blowout, and it's time for Anchor's Chat. The federal government has pledged to immortalize the late Taiwo Akinkunmi, the man who created Nigeria's flag, as soon as the family of the deceased makes their request known to the government, according to the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Mohammed Idris. He gave vindication in Ibadan yesterday while paying a condolence visit to the state, where he assured the federal government's readiness to look into any request the family of the deceased forwards to the government. He said, "We are here with the presence of Mr. President to offer our condolences and also tell the family and the good people of your state the place that the federal government places the deceased. We know that he is such an iconic individual. He has designed one of the most powerful of our collective existence as a country and as a nation. Therefore, Mr. President has asked that we come to commiserate with the family and also tell them that Mr. President shares with them in the grief, and the federal government is with them throughout this period. Whatever the request that the family put forward to the federal government will be looked into," the minister said, while hosting the minister in his office on the condolence visitor. Governor Seyi Makinde, who was represented by his deputy Bayo Lawal, said late Akinkunmi left behind a legacy of unity, resourcefulness that could not be erased. "We have to thank this gentleman, Chief Taiwo Akinkunmi, for that rich knowledge and futuristic approach to our nation. On behalf of His Excellency and the good people of your state, we appreciate His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, for sending this high delegation to Oyo State to commiserate, not only to the family of the deceased, but the government and the good people of Oyo State." He said, "We have accepted what has happened to us in Oyo State by the departure of Chief Taiwo Akinkunmi. May he so rest in peace." He further said, "We want to take the liberty of the visit to extend to His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that both the family and the good people of Oyo State appreciate this kind gesture of condolence to the people of Oyo State." He said, "We believe sincerely that the legacy left behind by Chief Akinkunmi in terms of the design of the flag, the Nigeria flag, will not be lost on Nigerians, the legacy of unity, of resourcefulness, to the extent that we cannot but appreciate the fact that Nigeria, despite challenges and obstacles we continuously face, must remain united and in peace." While the minister thereafter led the federal government delegation to the residence of the deceased, where he further reaffirmed government's readiness to do everything possible to immortalize the late Akinkunmi. Well, this is okay. It's okay that Taiwo Michael Akinkunmi will be immortalized. It's okay. It's nice. You know, there is a family who composed the national anthem, the national pledge, whose father or parents are Nigerian. There are several Nigerians who have done notable deeds that put Nigeria on the spotlight. Some of them are still alive. What are their names? Who knows them? What is the federal government waiting for their death? And then when social media pulls it up and begins to talk about it, they suddenly wake up from their slumber and say, "Okay, let us go and do something about this." It's a bit disturbing that sometimes these people are not brought to the fore as role models. But politicians with little or no reputation are always projected, spotlighted for young people, as an example for young people. Then you wonder why the society is decaying. When you have politicians who, take money that don't belong to them, put it in their private pocket, that money that is meant to develop their communities or the state, for instance, put it in their private pocket, and at the end of the day, nothing really comes out of that. You ask yourself then, what is in need for everyone who may be making one or two efforts to ensure that things work the way they ought to? Now, the reason why I'm asking this question is simple. This man lived a whole life. He died in his 80s. We never remembered him to say, "Let us celebrate him." Okay, well, good luck, Jonathan did give him a title, a national honor, but that was it. You can't even find quality picture of this man anywhere. You ask him if he's the federal government that's supposed to, do a photo shoot for him, or no, not really. But if this man had been honored the way he ought to be honored, we'll not be having the conversation we're having right now. So is immortalizing him enough? But we don't really know how they want to immortalize him. That's just a statement made. Are they going to have a literary piece on him that will be part of our curriculum to talk about the man who designed Nigerian flag, Taiwo Michael Akinkunmi? Are they going to have a monument of him somewhere? Are they going to do a song, make a national song of him? What are we looking at in terms of immortalization? We don't have idea, but I'm just saying this morning that we have come to this point where we have allowed a whole lot that should be projected positively for our collective good to be in the shadows. Today you're fighting, telling young people not to go into cyber crimes, not to go into drugs and what have you. But who are the examples that they have out there? Your guess is as good as mine. So while the federal government is thinking of immortalizing this man, I hope that the care and love and attention that Nigeria also have paid on this noble gentleman who did not use his influence as the one who designed Nigerian flag to get into politics and do what others were doing, but he gently came back from abroad after studying, went back to his civil service job and just stayed there, served there until he retired. We never gave him free medical care. We never thought to honor him in any way. But now he's passed on, we want to immortalize him. I hope that those who are around the corridors of power can come up with something worthy to, at least to a large extent, make up for the times we never cared for him the way we ought to. So then we carry, wherever we go to, we lift our flag and we say we are Nigerians. Someone's mind, they gave birth to that. But in a country where the minds of individuals are not respected, it's understandable. But now he's passed on. We hope that he can be given a national honor by burying him. I believe the federal government should take charge of his burial, to give him a state burial, as the case may be. I believe that this should not be left for Seyi Makinde or your state governor. I believe that notable Nigerians should be there to honor this noble gentleman who passed through the shores of this country. I believe that the kind of honor that should be given to this man should stand him as a model for Nigerians to follow. If we have any hope of building a country where respect for the integrity of individuals will be honored and, projected for what is what. This is actually the man we should be calling Mr. Integrity. Because by designing the Nigerian flag, it gives you access to certain individuals. At the top, he studied abroad. He could have just maximized that to say, hey, I want more. He could have just gotten into a political party using that as an acclaim for himself and goes about like the Igbos who say, Makwandi Igbo, I'm the one that designed this flag. And then, make noise about it. They seek for a way to get fame for himself through that. But he didn't. I mean, Pa Michael Taiwo Akinkunmi didn't. He stayed true to his integrity, maintained his lane. I'm not saying going into politics or pursuing fame is wrong. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that this very gentleman had every opportunity to climb because he has done something that gave him a national identity. He had every opportunity to capitalize on that to achieve a whole lot. But look at how lowly his state is in debt. Look at how much the product of what we have of his last days. So if we are going to think of immortalizing someone, I totally agree with the federal government. It should be Pa Michael Taiwo Akinkunmi. However, this immortalization should be done in such a way that every young child in Nigeria today that can read and write will identify with the fact that this man lived. And that the only way to serve your country is not by going into politics or carrying out injurious acts just to see that you make money and begin to throw money around in the name of philanthropy. So whatever we do today that has contributed to the decadence in our society. So for what it is worth, we all are looking forward to how the federal government is going to immortalize this gentleman of noble character. And I dare say of noble birth, because, I mean, how do we get such gentlemen these days? I don't know how, I don't know where. But just want to say thank you, Pamaike Taiwo Akinkunmi, for the life you lived. Because you have shown in our time that if people can actually live nobly and die without having to make so much of themselves. Your name has been planted in the seed of time. Whatever the outcome of this immortalization might be, I remember you, thousands or millions of Nigerians who understand the role you played and the life and the times you shared with us on earth. We remember you and we thank you. And we pray that your soul will continue to rest in peace. And may every time your name is mentioned, may that honor with which you brought to yourself and this country become a symbol for people to say, I knew Michael Taiwo Akinkunmi. And that's been Anchor's Chat today. We'll be back to you after the break.